Hello, myself Sunil Ramakrishna. Here, basically, we are discussing about one topic, that is this topic, that is cities creation. In this cities creation, will be the one of the solution basically of the global warming. In this, basically, we are talking about the two mountains basically. One is this Himalaya mountain. See, basically, this. This was the Himalaya mountain, and basically, this is the Everest mountain. So this basically was somebody was telling basically in one of the blog, basically he has told that basically there is basically something bad basically is going in this world basically, that is more than 100 plane basically gets crashed basically in this two mountain basically. In this mountain basically there was basically something bad was going on. This 100 plane basically gets crashed basically, and even basically the USA basically was not tracked. That means USA basically was not able to track. That means something basically USA was also hiding basically, and that was the World Trade Center basically. See basically what happened to them. They hid it, na basically. They only basically got the thing basically. So mostly lots of people says that basically the America basically got the World Trade Center. This also basically might be the one of the reason basically, that they hided the thing basically. They kept secret this type of activity basically. That means something basically is basically gone is wrong in the Himalaya mountain basically. That basically somebody was trying to get into that basically, and he basically done the blog also basically in one of the basically, I don't remember the which basically, when I was in Mumbai basically, that time basically I had read that blog basically when I was working in the 3i Infotech. That time basically I actually read that blog basically, but in company basically I had not read it. Basically I went to cyber cafe, and that time basically I had read it. Somebody literally told that basically, that means something was going wrong basically that time. That was the 100 plane basically got crashed in the Himalayan Everest mountain. Then basically you can just imagine basically daily basically this might be going basically. That also he told basically. Then he told that basically somebody tracked this. Somebody might have tracked this basically. That's why basically somebody has done the lockdown basically. This also basically somebody told that basically. Entire plane basically got down, shut down basically. That time basically not a single plane was going. That means something software companies basically, some software company has done the lockdown of the world basically. That also basically people are saying basically. So in this basically they are telling that basically they have basically created this corona basically. They have used corona. In this basically lots of 50 crore people died also basically. That 200 story was also basically there. So they used that 200 story also basically. The lots of people basically says that also basically. So one of the person told that basically, which is that software company here basically? Do you know basically that which is handling the entire plane of the world basically, where basically which plane is moving where basically? Then he told that basically that type of software I don't think basically anybody might be having basically. I don't think basically any might be having basically. It might possible that basically USA basically, where the USA plane is moving, that track basically they might be having. But the USA basically might be having the information basically where their planes are moving basically. Then he told that basically might possible basically 100% we can't say basically, because USA only controls the USA region basically. After the plane basically left the US region, that control basically goes to the other country basically. That basically they can't track. That basically they can track. But they might be tracking that also, no? That they might be tracking that basically whether how many plane basically came back to India, sorry, came back to USA. For example, 100 plane basically left from USA, so they might be tracking na basically that plane basically came back to USA or not basically. At least they might be tracking that much basically, or they are basically literally basically they are telling that let the 100 plane go basically. They might be telling like that basically. That is not possible basically. And somebody told that basically this, somebody has ignored this basically. That's why that World Trade Center also basically incidents happened basically to get the tell that basically this 100 plane basically crashed na basically. It might possible something might happen to your country also. Now you also suffer basically. That basically might be the problem basically. But 100% we can't say the thing basically. We can say only the possibilities basically. We can say only the possibilities. So one of the person told that basically who is that group basically, who is that software company basically, who is handling the entire world planes basically. He is the person basically who is doing the 100 plane crash in Himalaya and Everest basically, because he only have the control basically of the whole world plane basically. So for that basically one of the person told that basically where is this Himalayan Everest mountain here basically. Both are basically in Asian side and basically it's spread to European Union. Lots of basically it's a big mountain basically. Then one of the person told that the mountains basically moves or basically mountain moves basically. Then basically it first is in Asia, then basically it will move to it will join to the European country basically. Then basically it will move to the USA country. That type of thing basically is possible basically. Which kind of thing basically you are talking about? That also basically somebody told. But somebody is telling this basically that means they might have some information about this 11 parts basically gets 11 parts basically Earth planet have basically, that basically everybody knows. But it reshaping basically happening, that basically everybody's might be happening. Who basically knows basically whether the reshaping basically also might be happening of these parts all around basically. That also basically somebody might be verifying basically this. Then one of the person told that basically something basically is wrong basically, which is somebody is hiding basically. The USA hided this basically. Then they basically got this World Trade Center basically. That means the 100 plane basically which is getting crashed, that basically is not happening from now basically. It's happening from many years basically. Somebody might be possible that from USA basically might have done the block that basically, or basically it might possible that somebody might have done that block basically. Due to that basically the USA got it basically. That was World Trade Center basically. But that was basically correct information basically, because he might have lost his family in that plane basically, in that plane crash basically. That 100 plane basically which got crashed, and he might be very intelligent basically, that he might have tracked this from some software or basically I don't know, because any of the software basically can be hijacked. That everybody might be knowing that basically. If for example you are deploying one of the software in internet basically, that software 100% basically can hijack from any of the point basically. Reason is the data basically, which is basically the digital way basically the world is created. Same way basically the power company basically can be hijacked by the sun solar system basically, and basically you can enter the house also basically with the help of the sun solar system, and you can damage the body parts also basically. That also you are done basically like this. So in next video basically we are going to see a little bit more about this all thing basically.